So I had put up earlier, and I think for some people they don't really get it, maybe. But it was like a short video to uh, the song "A Rich Man's Game," not the one by Oliver Anthony. Not I think people get that confused. No, it's a different. I forget who the artist but it's called "Rich Man's Game." The whole song is so good. Um, just the games they play. And so I had put it up with CDC, American Medical Association, United Nations, World Economic Forum, Senate, House, Supreme Court, everybody, all of them. Because it comes back to that. It comes back to that's what people, it's always about money. So I just wanted to read this so people could understand. Because, I mean, when I just did a video about the increase in miscarriages, okay? And yet there's all these major things that are a problem that should be being addressed, or something should be done about it, like people arrested. And then I see, like Mike Johnson going on all these interviews. Yeah, yay. Yeah, what, is something going to get done there? No. No, what? He had to make it, there's no way he got in that spot without making a deal with the Democrats. And people would say, well, you got to negotiate. The Democrats manage to get their shit through all the time without, they just run over people. They don't care what they do. I just don't, I feel like that I've tried to give people the benefit of the doubt. I really have. I've stood back and at times and thought maybe maybe I need to give it a little time. And it's like, no, look at all this crap. And then again, I go back to the Bible because it goes to a rich man's game. So I just wanted to read several verses because they're rather important. They say exactly why, it explains why I put that video up. And the Supreme Court and all of the people listed in that short video to that song should really think about this. Because Jesus was speaking to everybody. Was. James 5:1, come now, you rich, weep and howl for the miseries that are coming upon you. Your riches have rotten and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver have corroded, and their corrosion will be evidenced against you, and you will eat your flesh like fire. You have laid up treasures in the last days. Behold, the wages of the laborers who mowed your fields, which you kept back by fraud, are crying out against you, and the cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord of hosts. You have lived on the earth in luxury and in self-indulgence. You have fattened your hearts in a day of slaughter. So, all of those people that I posted, all of those different agencies I posted in that short video, they would be wise to maybe pick up the Bible and take it seriously. I doubt they would. Because they're those people Jesus talked about where it says, I forget in which book, they always say that Jesus is coming or that this will happen, and but those are stupid people that think it'll never happen. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people crying up to the Lord right now, please save us from these like what I really hate, like with the judicial system, with this whole like let's talk about Mike Johnson all day, all this stuff, is because it's like when you can show that you do something other than spend our money, when you can get some people arrested, I don't know who arrests the DOJ when they're corrupt. I'm not really sure how that works. I thought it would be the U.S. Marshals. Could maybe the U.S. Marshals go and do that? Like, the people have had enough, okay? Like, to do the right thing in God's eyes. Proverbs 16:16. How much better to get wisdom than gold? To get understanding is to be chosen rather than silver. Mark 12:41. And he sat down opposite the, I love this one. And he sat down opposite the treasury and watched the people putting money into the offering box. Many rich people put in large sums, and a poor widow came and put in 2 small copper coins, which make a penny. And he called his disciples to him, and he said to them, Truly I say to you, this poor widow has put in more than all those who are contributing to the offering box, for they all contributed out of their abundance. But she, out of her poverty, has put in everything she had, all she had to live on. That's my favorite one. Mark 8:36. For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? The World Economic Forum, United Nations, our court system, pretty much everybody in Washington, D.C., because their deeds show that they don't do the right thing. The Supreme Court had an obligation a long time ago to do the right thing in regards to 2020. They no longer hold any credibility. Proverbs 22:16. Whoever oppresses the poor to increase his own wealth or gives it to rich will only come to poverty. See, they don't believe that, but they will. And it'll strike them fast. Do you realize none of those people on the Supreme Court, any of the politicians, definitely not the World Economic Forum, the heads of the hospital, any of these people that have lived in their luxury, if it was all just taken from them, they would crumble, because it doesn't sustain you to have all that money. Faith does. Believe me, I don't have a bunch of money. I don't. I many times am the widow that's put everything in on one thing, hoping that by doing the right thing. But I would rather have the riches of doing the right thing than, and I'm not a saint, believe me, totally not at all, ever. I ever will be. But I'm just saying that so many people everywhere just don't do the right thing. Whoever trusts in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like a green leaf. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of eyes and pride of life, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues with injustice. Yeah, Supreme Court. Whoever is greedy for unjust gain troubles his own household, but he who hates bribes will live. But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. Well, I would say that's everything Jesus said is accurate. We're seeing it. What happens to the people that have all the money at the World Economic Forum? What happens to all these people that have all this power and get all this popularity, like in the Supreme Court? They don't do the right thing. Well, just because they don't think they'll someday meet the Lord Almighty, well, I would guarantee you should think twice about that.